Maybe that does mean maybe that is what that means. Punching in on, this is what I've done, this is what I've done, this is what I've done. Don't hear me like bashing NF necessarily. Okay, guys, so we're back with some more NF today. I say today, but my day didn't start with this song. My day started with How Could You Leave Us? And that song still has me shaken. I'm still feeling raw from that reaction because like, dang, dang. That one was heavy. It was emotional. It covered so much trauma. There was a lot to that. And I'm not going to go off on a whole thing about that, but just all that to say, I'm really hoping that NF has something a little lighter in store for me with this one, with Real. I don't know if that's the case. I've got the lyrics up, but again, I try very hard not to read the lyrics before I dive into the video. I don't like to peruse them before I actually hear them in the song. So we're going to jump into Real. No idea what I'm going to see here. I'm hoping it's a little more fun and light. To be fair, fun and light is never something that I would use to describe anything that NF does. I mean, like intro 2 ends up being more that kind of hype up type of thing. All I Have wasn't the heaviest of songs, but it still hit on some of that emotion. But anyway, let's get into Real. See what he's got to say. Let's do this. Let me make sure. Am I recording everywhere? I got camera. Okay, we're good. Sorry. I got mixed up while I was trying to do the intro there, and I wasn't sure if I was recording everything. Let's do this. This isn't sounding light and fun yet. Sorry.
Real music. Yeah. Getting that headspace, you know? When somebody get the body bags, working with the beats in them now. Put the MCs in them, season them. Put them on a beat with me, then I'm eating them. Get away from the table, you rappers ain't hungry enough. You rappers ain't hungry like us. They talk about me like I'm here, they talk about you like you was. Whoa. A nurse came into my room, she told me I'm sick in the head. I'm in hip-hop, hospital bed with a pad and a pen and a brace on my neck. They told me that I'm never leaving, why? I am as ill as it gets. Any rapper that say that they running the game, I'ma come in the session and cut off their legs.
Okay. So we're getting a little more into kind of that, what am I trying to say? Like hype up type of feel, kind of like intro 2 already. That's kind of what it seems like. So I'm happy that we're not going to be talking about dead mothers and massive trauma. Sometimes we've got to move on from that and listen to something that doesn't rip our souls out of our bodies. So yeah, we're talking about, now I'm looking at the lyrics, talking about me like I'm here, nurse came into my room, said I'm sick in the head. That we know that, bro. Anybody listening to your music right now, we're all a little bit there. We know that. Okay. Sorry. I was looking for where I heard the word session, and I wanted to know if he had like tied that into, therapy session. Maybe that does mean maybe that is what that means. He said, any rapper that say they run in the game, I'ma come in they session and cut off their legs. So, I mean, I guess that session, like maybe he is alluding to how he talks about how his music, when he's rapping, that is his therapy session, but also their session of like recording in the booth. Maybe he's kind of pulling a double a little bit there, but yeah, let's get back into it.
Any rapper that say that they run in the game, I'ma come in the session and cut off their legs. Strap a grenade to my head, pull out the pen. My music is mind blowing. Ain't nobody do it like I do it.
Okay.
I ain't never been on my level. I got a problem with the way they keep talking and acting like everybody gonna get it, better sleep with your eyes open. You wanna know what I noticed? Look around in my fan base and they ready. That last album was heavy. That last album was gritty. How you gonna match that? Just let me do what I do best. You're better off playing Russian roulette than coming in the booth to me, cause I get a little bit intense. I'm like, who's next?
Okay, so he talks about like how that last set or that not the last session, that last album, if we're talking about the metaphor here, that last therapy session, that was the album Mansion, was gritty. It was hard. Now he's talking about how this one, how am I going to top that? And to be fair, again, he's talking a little bit of the same stuff he's talking about in intro too. It's like, how am I going to top that? But then he talks about how this stuff is going to be mind blowing. And I feel like this is almost like a reminder of that, coming in after a couple of tracks into the album, just to say, look, we've covered some heavy stuff here. We're going to cover some heavy stuff here. This is a break in the middle to remind you what this is all about. So, yeah.
Then coming in the booth to me, cause I get a little bit intense. I'm like, who's next? Y'all better watch it. Take a look at where the clock is. It's my time. This ladder of music that I climb. I took the machete, the game isn't ready. Them rappers that coming upon me, I cut up the ladder and I told them bye-bye. Was you looking for a high five? Nice try. Do not believe everything that you read on the internet. I do not know who your dentist is, but he should clean out your mouth. Don't call me a sellout, that's something I've never been. I've been through hell in my life though, but I know what heaven is, Father.
Yeah, I'm interested because with him going the route of signing with a label, I'm sure he had those people that were diehard, like independent artist type of fans. Maybe not just of his, but just people who have a whole lot more respect for independent artists rather than signed artists. And now at this point, he represents himself, right? He's got his own label, but yeah, I'm sure he had a little bit of that pushback from people after he did a self-published album. And then I think, wasn't there something else self-published other than Moments before Mansion? But then signing with an album, he's talking here about how, some people are trying to call me a sellout. Wash out your mouth, because that's ridiculous.
Forgive me for something I've never been. I've been through hell in my life though, but I know what heaven is. Father, forgive me for I am a sinner, but you gave me music as medicine. Ain't nobody want a problem when I get in my zone, but it leave me be. I'm a mean MC. Better feed me rappers or feed me beats. Feed me both of them. They like, Nay, what's it like to be famous? I'll let you know if I make it. Yeah, I wonder what life would be like if I didn't stick up my neck. $200 inside of my bank account. Woo! I was living on that. I need some money to pay for my rent. I need some money to pay for my gas. I'm not complaining, I'm just being honest. I promise that I will not beg for respect. Nah, I get so frustrated. Take a look at what I created. Time is wasting, I ain't waiting. I'm a doctor with no job, me, I don't have no patience. I keep pacing, back and forth, I keep racing. You ain't never been in my book and I got a problem with it. Why? Cause you reckon like you read my pages. I wreck these stages, real talk, better give me space. Cause I am chasing something they told me that I won't make it. I'm not famous, I'm just lifted. And I wonder how the world gon' take this. They might hate it, but you know anything about me, you know that don't mean I'm changing.
Man, okay. Yeah, and he's going on this line of just like, I've made it to a certain degree, but I'm going to keep pushing. I'm going to keep making it. I'm going to keep pushing. And the thing is, like, he had this one line in there. Let me see if I can find it. I want to like go on and on trying to find lyrics and have to cut a bunch of stuff while I sit here and scroll. But he talked about thanking God for the music that he's put in him. But then there is a whole lot of like, I'm making this happen. I'm making this happen. And, that's one of those things that in kind of the hype attitude of rap culture, whether we're talking about like mostly where he's done that as so far from what I've heard is intro 1, intro 2. Now he's taken the time to kind of lean into that again. Lean into this idea that, I'm going to grind it out. I'm going to beat you. Whoever you might be, who's going to come against me and say that I'm a sellout. I'm the one that's in the studio working my butt off, trying to make sure that I'm putting out the best that I can possibly put out. But he's got the one line thanking God, but then he really puts the emphasis on himself. And I don't know if that's for a purpose or if that's just the place he's in right now, if he's going to kind of turn that around later and bring it back to God a bit more. But he's in this kind of just period right here in the middle of the song where he's just punching in on, this is what I've done. This is what I've done. This is what I've done. And again, I'm not saying he hasn't done that before, but it's interesting to have another one. Like the intros are one thing. The intros that hype up for the album, but now he's taken the time in the middle of the album, like, or at least closer to the middle of the album to remind everybody. So I want to see where he's taking this. I do want to see where he's taking this.
existed. I exist in a world that's real different. And what you gonna be when you grow up, mate? I doubt they will get it. My life is a mess, better watch your step. And you step into some of this brain is off limits. I'm off in a world you don't get. Cause you ain't never been in it. In 10 minutes I still couldn't explain what's inside my brain. Don't mess with it. I've invested a lot of me inside these lines. I'm just protecting them. Everybody wanna hear.
Okay. So as soon as I'm like, he's going in on himself, he's saying, this is what I've done. This is what I've done. This is what I've done. Then he goes into, this is a mess up here. He goes prideful, but then he goes humble, and he's like, guys, I can't even explain what kind of mess is going on up in here. Something's coming out, but I don't even know how to explain it. I wish I could find exactly where I'm at in the lyrics here. So that was interesting. As soon as I'm talking about how he's going in kind of that prideful attitude, I'm not knocking him for it necessarily. It's part of the art. It's part of the artistic journey. There are always when you're working out these kind of things, there's going to be the praise and there's going to be the lament, and there's going to be other things in between. There's going to be those moments of transparency where you can say that, like, I was feeling pride in this moment. Whether or not that pride is founded, whether or not that pride is sinful, if we want to call it that, then it's there. It's part of the journey that he's giving us. So don't hear me like bashing NF necessarily for having a section of his song where he's like leaning into kind of that prideful attitude, but then he followed it right up with humility. That's what I'm trying to hit on here. So let's go.
That's what I've invested a lot of me inside these lines. I'm just protecting them. Everybody wanna hit a real version of life. They don't get so sensitive when I say something a little bit raw. I drop my thoughts and they call it negative. You wanna know where my heart is? I stand out cause I wear my garbage. I work my hardest. And every time I look into the mirror, don't forget about where I started. Tell me what am I doing? 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 I said what am I doing? Tell me what am I doing here if I'm not being real?
That's wild. That's wild. I was literally about to say, and I think, I'm not saying this is confirmation, but, I was wondering about the imagery here. The fact that he's doing this, talking about the reality of his music and his intention, his, how he feels about where he's at right now and where it's come from, and how hard he's working towards it. He's doing this all on this jet, this kind of wrecked jet. And then we see him on an actual air. Well, it seems like this is probably still a set, but it doesn't look destroyed. But he's on this jet. And I don't know if there's some kind of metaphor here for how, you've usually you see an airplane or a jet airliner at 35,000 feet, you're above it, you're way up in the air, but then the kind of juxtaposition of this one is actually on the ground, it's destroyed, it's torn apart, and that's what he sees when he's sleeping. He's on the plane, probably in the context of this, flying to another show. The guy's famous now, he's going and touring all around the country, at least, if not around the world. I don't know where he was at this point, if he was touring the world, if he's touring the country, if he's touring the East Coast, West Coast, whatever he was doing. But he wakes up on this plane, but when he's sleeping, he's still in the plane. He's still in that kind of that lifestyle that he's now in, but it's destroyed. It's torn apart. The reality of where he's at is this this really kind of messed up place in his head. So yeah, that's interesting. I'm wanting to. This is definitely one. I said with the last one with How Could You Leave Us that's not going on the playlist necessarily, even though it's really, really a fantastic work of art. It's not a song that I want to listen to every day. It just isn't. It's heavy stuff. This is some fun hype up music, but also it's got some heart and it's got some impact. It's got some emphasis, some oomph to it. This is one that I would listen to over and over again. Absolutely. And I want to do that purely because not purely because it's a good song, but I want to get some of the stuff that I know I missed. I know I missed some stuff in this one. I was watching the lyrics. I was trying to keep up with everything, but then I was thinking about the imagery. This is a good one. This was fun. It's not my favorite NF song that I've heard so far. And we are getting into that realm where there are some songs that are coming up that I can look back and say there are songs by NF that I've enjoyed more, but this was fun. This was a good next step in the journey, but also a little bit of a respite, like I said at the beginning of the video, from something that was so freaking heavy with How Could You Leave Us? That I needed this. I needed something like this after having listened to How Could You Leave Us? So this is a welcome change. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. I'm going to end like I always do with a little bit of prayer. Lord, thank you again for NF, that he puts out his story, puts out everything so transparently. Thank you for what he creates. And thank you to you as the original creator. We praise you and your son. And it's your son's name I pray. Amen. Thank you guys. I'll see you next time.